Imagine this. The greatest prison is not made of steel bars or fire, but of whispers inside your own mind. Desires you never chose, impulses you never admitted, fantasies you thought you buried long ago. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, spent his life warning us: what you repress does not vanish. It waits in silence, ready to sabotage your strength at the precise moment you believe you are in control. Tonight, we are not entering the flames of hell described by theologians. We are entering the psychological inferno of your own unconscious. And here, the demons wear no horns, they wear your face. Close your eyes and picture this scene like a film. A man walks proudly through the corridors of power, his suit immaculate, his steps confident, his words sharp as knives. But behind him, in the shadows, follow invisible figures, hungry, chained, restless. They are his hidden desires. He pretends not to hear them. He convinces himself he is free, yet every decision he makes is pulled by those unseen strings. Freud called this the unconscious, a reservoir of drives, urges, and cravings we are too ashamed to admit. You may call it your shadow, but whatever name you give, the truth remains. You are not entirely free. The moment you deny your hidden desires is the moment they start to rule you. Freud divided the mind into three parts: the ID, pure chaos, a beast that only knows hunger, pleasure, aggression, sex; the primal energy of life and death, the superego, the judge, the voice of society, morality, religion, shame; and the ego, trapped in the middle, negotiating between the beast and the judge, trying to survive. Most people think they live as the ego, rational, balanced, civilized. But in reality, they are driven by the ID, constantly repressed by the superego. And the more they repress, the stronger the desire becomes. This is why so many men of power fall, why so many leaders collapse, why so many marriages rot from the inside, not because of outside enemies, but because of what is hidden within. Think about your own life. How many times have you made a decision and later asked yourself, why did I do that? Why did I sabotage myself? You blame bad luck, you blame temptation, you blame others. But Freud would laugh and tell you, it was your unconscious. It was your hidden desire taking the wheel when you were not watching. Every addiction, every secret obsession, every destructive pattern is not random. It is the return of what you tried to bury. And this is why Freud's vision of hell is so terrifying. The fire is not outside, it is inside. It is not God punishing you. It is your own desire turning into your executioner. Picture it again, like cinema. A man kneels in church, his lips whispering prayers, his eyes closed in devotion. But behind his eyelids, images flash, forbidden, intoxicating, dark. He shakes his head, tries to focus on the sacred words, but the images grow stronger. He leaves the temple convinced he fought temptation, yet those desires remain untouched, waiting. And in the silence of the night, when no one is watching, they rise. This is the battle Freud wanted us to confront. You are at war with yourself. And every time you pretend the war does not exist, you lose another inch of ground. The danger is not desire itself. Desire is the engine of life. What destroys you is repression without awareness. What kills your power is when you pretend you are pure, when you pretend you are immune. Then, the unconscious takes revenge. It makes you choose partners that destroy you. It makes you spend money you don't have. It makes you drink what poisons you. It makes you sabotage the very success you worked for. Freud believed this was the true tragedy of mankind. We are not masters in our own house. We are guests in a mansion where the true owner is hidden in the basement, and that owner is your hidden desire. So listen carefully. Every time you feel a sudden urge, every time you dream something that shocks you, every time a thought crosses your mind that you immediately dismiss as not me, that is the voice of your unconscious. And if you ignore it, it will not disappear. It will grow. This is why so many men, when they finally reach the top, collapse. Because the unconscious does not forgive. What you repress today will choke you tomorrow. Hell is not fire. Hell is repetition. Hell is the cycle you cannot break because you refuse to face what you desire in secret. And here is where the question becomes terrifying. What if the biggest enemy of your power is not outside? What if it is the secret craving you never dared to face? The one you cover with morality, with religion, with discipline, but that keeps knocking, keeps whispering, keeps waiting. This is not philosophy. This is not religion. This is Freud pointing a mirror at your soul and saying, look, the enemy is you. If you are still here, it means you feel the weight of these words. And if you want to go deeper into this abyss, stay until the end of this video, because we will not only reveal Freud's vision of hidden desires, but also show you how to confront them, how to expose them, and how to stop being their slave. Do not click away. Do not escape, because maybe, just maybe, the truth you fear is the only truth that can set you free. Now imagine yourself walking through life believing you are in control. You tell yourself, I am disciplined. I am strong. I know what I want. But beneath that confidence, there is another voice, quiet, mocking, waiting. Freud would tell you that voice is older than your rational mind, older than your morality, older even than your conscious identity. It is the raw animal inside you, the force of hunger, lust, envy, rage. You can dress in the finest suit, carry the holiest book, speak with the most polished words, but that voice does not care. It has been with you since birth. It will follow you until death, and when you least expect it, it will sabotage everything you build. Think of the politician who builds a career on discipline, order, and respect. He speaks about family, morality, and loyalty, but one hidden desire, a forbidden affair, an addiction, a secret craving, destroys decades of power in a single night. Think of the businessman who sacrifices sleep, health, and family to climb the ladder. He finally reaches the top, but then, in the silence of success, his repressed desires rise like ghosts. Gambling, infidelity, reckless spending. His empire collapses, not because of enemies, but because of himself. This is Freud's dark wisdom. The greatest enemy of power is not weakness. It is the hidden desire you refuse to face. Let us frame it like a scene in a psychological thriller. A man sits alone in a hotel room, city lights glowing outside. His speech tomorrow will change everything. Investors are waiting. The press is watching. His reputation is at stake. He rehearses the words, his tie perfectly aligned, his notes precise. But as the clock ticks, he feels it, the pull, the desire. He takes out his phone, scrolls, searches for distraction. He promises himself, just a moment, hours vanish. The morning comes. His eyes are red, his focus broken. The speech collapses. He tells himself it was bad luck, but Freud would whisper, no, it was not bad luck. It was sabotage from within. The unconscious is not polite. It does not negotiate. It does not care about your dreams, your goals, your dignity. It only cares about expression. What you push down, it pushes back up. What you silence, it screams. What you deny, it acts out. And the more you pretend, the more violent its revenge becomes. This is why so many people destroy themselves at the edge of victory. Not because they are weak, but because they never made peace with their hidden desires. Now ask yourself, what is the desire you fear the most? Is it the hunger for recognition, the need to be admired, even worshipped? Is it the craving for pleasure, for indulgence, for the forbidden? Is it the desire to destroy, to hurt, to take revenge? You pretend these thoughts are not yours. You hide them under prayer, under discipline, under masks of success. But at night, in your dreams, they return. And dreams, Freud insisted, are the royal road to the unconscious. In dreams, the mask falls. The beast speaks, dreams of falling, of being chased, of forbidden encounters. These are not random. They are coded messages from your unconscious, demanding to be heard. Ignore them, and they become compulsions. You wake up one day and find yourself repeating the same toxic relationships, making the same financial mistakes, falling into the same traps. You call it destiny, but Freud calls it repetition compulsion, the unconscious forcing you to relive what you refuse to confront. Hell, then, is not a lake of fire. Hell is the loop you cannot break, the circle of desire, shame, and sabotage. Picture it again like cinema. A woman smiles in public, admired, respected. She is the model of control. But when she is alone, the mask cracks. She looks into the mirror and whispers words she would never admit to anyone else. She wants what she should not want. She dreams what she should not dream. She wakes up guilty, pretending it was nothing. But the desire grows, invisible, until one day it explodes, and everything she built shatters in an instant. This is the fate of those who ignore Freud's warning. The unconscious always collects. It's dead. But there is another layer to this inferno. Freud said civilization itself is built on repression. To live in society, we must all sacrifice some desires. We cannot kill when we are angry. We cannot steal what we crave. We cannot indulge every lust. And so, we repress, we bury, we deny. But repression is never perfect. The energy remains. It leaks out in slips of the tongue, in accidents, in jokes, in nervous habits. What you laugh about, what you accidentally say, what you cannot stop doing. These are the cracks in the mask, the unconscious revealing itself. Hell is not just inside you. It is in every word you wish you could take back, every impulse you wish you could erase. So how do you escape this hell? Freud was not optimistic. He believed we can never fully silence the unconscious. At best, we can bring some of it into the light, understand it, and negotiate with it. But most people never dare. They are too afraid of what they will find. They prefer to live as slaves, pretending they are free. And so, they repeat and repeat and repeat. The cycle of sabotage becomes their destiny. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, how much of your life has been driven by hidden desires? How many choices were truly yours? And how many were whispers from the unconscious? If this video feels like it is speaking directly to you, it is not by accident. The words you hear are mirrors. They reflect not me, but you. And the question is, will you keep running? Or will you finally face the desires that are set? Picture the world as a grand theater. Everyone wears masks. The mask of discipline, the mask of virtue, the mask of power. You wear yours too. But behind the painted smile of that mask, another face waits. A face you do not show. A face you fear. A face you sometimes do not even recognize. Freud believed that most of life is a negotiation between the mask you wear for the world and the secret face hidden beneath. And when those two faces collide, when the mask slips and the hidden desire bursts through, catastrophe arrives. Let us frame it cinematically. Imagine a man giving a speech 2000s. The lights blind him, the applause roars, the cameras capture his every word. He speaks with confidence, his body upright, his voice like steel. But then, a single thought flashes across his mind. A thought he should not have, a fantasy, a craving, an urge. His lips tremble for a second, his eyes shift. No one notices, but he knows, and that thought, invisible to the audience, becomes poison inside him. He finishes the speech, the crowd cheers, but deep down he knows he is not the man they admire. He is a mask, and his hidden desires are waiting for their turn to destroy him. This is why Freud terrifies us, because he tells us that your most shameful thought is not an accident. It is not meaningless. It is you. It is part of you. And the more you deny it, the stronger it becomes. The unconscious is not a passive storage. It is alive. It plots. It pushes. It demands. You can silence it for a day, for a year, maybe for a decade. But one day, the mask will break. And when it does, you will see the truth. You have always been a prisoner of the very desires you pretend do not exist. Consider how often people sabotage themselves in relationships. They swear loyalty. They promise devotion, they declare eternal love. But then, a hidden desire whispers, a need for validation, a hunger for novelty, a craving for what is forbidden, and suddenly, the relationship collapses. Tears, betrayal, destruction, and the person says, "I don't know what happened. I didn't want this." But Freud would respond, "Boom, you wanted it. You just did not admit it. You buried it, and the unconscious dug it up for you." Hell is not fire. Hell is the mirror. Hell is the moment you realize you are not who you thought you were. Let us make it even clearer. Imagine a soldier who swears loyalty to his cause. He trains, he fights, he bleeds. He believes he is pure. But one night, as he sharpens his weapon, another image rises in his mind, not of loyalty, not of sacrifice, but of escape, of pleasure, of indulgence. He shakes it off. He calls it weakness, but the thought returns, and one day, in the heat of battle, it wins. He flees, he betrays, he fails, and he cannot explain why, but Freud can. The unconscious sabotaged him. The hidden desire took control. Freud often said, "Man is not master in his own house." Think about that. You believe you are the owner of your mind, the ruler of your choices, the architect of your destiny. But in reality, you are a guest. The true master is invisible. The true master lives in the shadows. The true master is your desire. This is why so many powerful men fall in the same way. Politicians with scandals, celebrities with addictions, businessmen with secrets. It is not coincidence. It is the unconscious reclaiming what was denied. And here lies the most dangerous truth. You do not just repress dark desires. You also repress your deepest hunger for greatness. How? Many of your ambitions have you killed because someone told you they were impossible. How many dreams have you buried because society demanded you be realistic? Those desires too, repressed, return. But instead of fueling you, they haunt you. You become bitter, resentful, jealous. You laugh at others' success, not because you don't want it, but because you buried the desire to achieve it yourself. And so you live in hell, not because you failed, but because you repressed the part of you that wanted to rise. Now imagine yourself in a dark corridor. On one side, the shadows of forbidden pleasures. On the other, the shadows of abandoned dreams. Both follow you, both whisper, and you walk in the middle, pretending they are not there. But you feel them, and the longer you deny them, the heavier the chains become. This is the inferno Freud shows us. The life unlived, the desire unspoken, the dream denied, the hunger suppressed. The flames of hell are nothing compared to the weight of everything you refuse to face. The question then is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you keep wearing the mask, pretending you are only what the world sees? Or will you dare to look behind it, to confront the desires you hide even from yourself? Freud warned us, the unconscious always wins. The only choice you have is whether you face it willingly or let it sabotage you. One path gives you a chance at power. The other guarantees destruction. If you are still here, it means you feel the chains. You know there is something inside you, something you try to deny, something that whispers in your dreams and pulls your strings in silence. Do not ignore it, because the longer you ignore, the stronger it grows. And when it erupts, it will not ask permission. It will take everything. Now the descent reaches its end. You have walked through the corridors of repression, through the shadows of sabotage, through the theater of masks, and now you stand at the deepest chamber of Freud. As Inferno, the realization that your hidden desires are not just part of you, they are you. Everything you denied, everything you repressed, everything you tried to bury is the foundation of your identity. And until you face it, you are not free. You are a puppet whose strings are pulled by the very cravings you fear to name. Picture this final scene like the climax of a psychological film. A man stands in front of a mirror. His suit is perfect, his smile convincing, his posture commanding. He has power, respect, reputation. But as he stares deeper into the glass, another image begins to bleed through. A second face, darker, hungrier, wilder. He touches his reflection, and the mask shatters. Behind it, he sees not a monster, but himself, the self he spent a lifetime denying. And in that moment, he realizes the hell he feared was never in the afterlife. It was always here, in him and the secret desires he refused to face. Freud believed this was the true tragedy of mankind. We build civilizations, religions, laws, and morals to keep our desires chained. But the chains are fragile. They break. And when they break, chaos erupts. Wars, scandals, betrayals, addictions, crimes. All of them are eruptions of repressed desire. And yet, Freud also hinted at a darker irony. Without repression, civilization itself cannot exist. If every man lived his desires freely, society would collapse. So here is the paradox. To live with others, you must repress. But to live with yourself, you must confront, fail either side, and you fall into hell. Look around you. How many lives have been ruined by the desire for pleasure, for recognition, for revenge? How many leaders have been destroyed not by enemies, but by secret urges? How many families torn apart by hidden cravings? And how many men live bitter, lifeless existences because they repressed their hunger for greatness, their thirst for glory, their need to create? Hell has many forms. For some, it is indulgence without control. For others, it is denial without release. But in every form, the source is the same: hidden desire. Now let me ask you directly, what are the desires that sabotage your power? Is it the craving for validation, the hunger to be admired, the longing for forbidden pleasure? Or is it the buried dream, the greatness you abandoned, the hunger for meaning you killed? You can lie to me, you can lie to others, but you cannot lie to yourself. Freud warned us, the unconscious sees everything, and if you refuse to see it, it will punish you. That punishment is your hell. But there is a way out, not through denial, not through repression, not through pretending to be pure. The only way out is confrontation, to stare into the mirror, to face the desires, to name them, to bring them into the light. Only then can you negotiate with them. Only then can you redirect their energy into creation instead of destruction. Freud never promised freedom. He promised awareness. And awareness is the first step to breaking the cycle of sabotage. Imagine the man in the mirror again. This time, when the mask shatters, he does not turn away. He does not scream. He does not run. He looks his hidden face in the eyes. He accepts, and in that acceptance, the chains loosen. The desires do not vanish. They never will. But now, they are not shadows. They are forces he can use, forces he can transform. And for the first time, he feels something strange. Not fear, not shame, but power. This is the exit from hell, not to escape desire, but to master it. But most will not choose this path. Most will keep pretending, keep repressing, keep sabotaging. And for them, the inferno will remain eternal, not because of divine punishment, but because of self-betrayal. They will live the same cycles, repeat the same mistakes, fall into the same traps. Their hell will not be flames. It will be repetition. Endless, merciless repetition. So now the question is yours. Will you keep living with the mask, letting your hidden desires sabotage you? Or will you descend into yourself, confront the shadows, and take back the power that is rightfully yours? The decision is terrifying, but it is the only decision that matters. Because Freud's final verdict is clear. Your desires will not disappear. The only question is whether you will be their slave or their master. This is not just philosophy. This is not just psychology. This is your life. Right now, you can keep running or you can stop, turn around, and face the shadows. If you dare, you may discover that the inferno you feared was not a prison, but a doorway to power. If you are brave enough to walk through it,